No, don't panic. I really won't do that to you. So I'm David Rizzo. I'm Vice President of Product Development at Compuware. Who's heard of Compuware? Awesome. Who knows what a mainframe is? All right, if you've heard of Compuware, you know what a mainframe is. This is great. It's more than I usually get in an audience. We're not going to talk a lot about mainframes, but I just like to know because what we do at Compuware is develop mainframe software for developers to make them more productive. But we're not going to talk about Compuware today. Well, we are a little bit. We're going to talk about our journey to Agile and DevOps and what we did, some of the tools we used, and how we got there. The first thing we'll start with is whenever you have a journey, you have to figure out how did you get there. Well, first thing we did is recognize that we had a problem. And this goes back about 3 years now. We recognized that our problem was we needed to be more innovative, we needed to be more creative, and we needed to be a leader in the market because we had gotten kind of stagnant as a company. We had 40 years of waterfall development. Compuware has been around for now 45 years. So for over 40 years, we did waterfall development. We were very good at following the process. We put out products about once every 18 months or so. 12 to 18 months, we put out a product release, and we were very good at going through the process of doing that. But it was very slow moving. Like turtles, we stood on the side of the road sometimes, and it took us a long time to cross and a long time to get things done. And as we sat back and looked a few years ago, we recognized what we had, and we recognized that the world is changing. And it's, the modern digital economy, the main thing is fast beats slow. It's not about your size. It's not about what you have. It's fast beats slow. What you have to deliver has to be done in an efficient way, and it has to be done when the market needs it. And we recognized that that's what needed to change for us. And the key to changing and moving forward is you have to have some innovation. You can't deliver the same old thing. You can't just code something and expect people to use it. You have to have some ideation to be successful. And that's not always easy either. Coming up with good ideas continuously is not something that comes naturally necessarily to everybody, but you have to have that to be successful. The next thing is, as I said, we're a software vendor, so we provide all of our software to our customers around the world, and the biggest thing to them is quality. The worst thing we can do is deliver something that doesn't provide quality. So when we talk about and looked at what we had to do, we have to make sure that we have good quality. We have to be able to measure it so that we can maintain it and ultimately improve it. So we defined the problem that we have. We knew where we were at. We knew what we needed, what we wanted to do. Now we had to define how to get there. How are we going to become successful to be innovators, to be a fast-moving company, to meet the needs of the digital economy and the needs of our customers? So the first thing is agility. Frequent right-sized code changes to fulfill business needs. That's a good definition. Being agile, there's a lot that goes to agile and agility, but ultimately it's getting the right thing to the customers at the right time. So we had to be agile, we had to be more nimble and delivering at a more rapid pace. Confidence. When we talk about confidence, it's confidence that you're doing the right thing and what you ultimately deliver is the right thing and it's good. That's the quality, that's the product that somebody needs. It's having the confidence that you can do that. And how you gain confidence is many different ways. For coding, for us, defining confidence is making sure what we deliver does not have consequences that we did not expect them to have. Quite simply, don't have bugs in your software. Make sure it works the way you expect, and also make sure that it meets the needs of the customer, what they're expecting you to deliver. So to be able to do that with confidence requires some work as well. Efficiency. Everybody wants to be efficient. Everybody wants to get the maximum out of all the resources they have, and to be able to do the process from development to delivery, testing, all those different things as efficiently as possible. Again, focus on fast beat slow. You have to be moving at a rate that allows you to move at a speed that will meet the needs of the customers. And then we had an ease of use. So we do mainframe software development. A lot of people who do mainframe software development are used to using old green screens. Who's seen a green screen? Who uses a green screen today? Awesome. That's great. Because one of our missions was to get rid of the green screen but still be able to do mainframe development. But that's empower inexperienced developers to be able to do the job. As we brought in more people, as we went down our journey of Agile and DevOps, we had to bring in a lot of people. And our staff was changing. Some people were moving on because of retirement. People feel beaches and grandchildren are better than COBOL and databases. I don't know why, but some people do. So yeah, we had to be ready for that change. And over the course of our 3-year journey, we have brought in about 20% of our staff is now less than 5 years out of college. So there's not a lot of mainframe developers out there. So we had to go someplace to find them, and we went to colleges to find them. We bring them in, we train them, and we had to give them tools to use that would make it easy for them to do their job. And we had to make sure we were prepared for that so that we can continue working in a fast pace, making it easy, and delivering what was needed to be done. The next thing is that we had to look at was integrations. The world today, we're a mainframe company, of course, but mainframes run the world, but not everything runs on a mainframe. So many applications in the enterprise touch a mainframe. There aren't many applications anymore that run simply on a mainframe or simply off mainframe for large enterprises. Our customers have applications that span from mobile web all the way to the back end of the mainframe. And how those integrations are done, how you connect all the pieces together so that you can be able to have your non-mainframe developers and mainframe developers working together, using the same tools, speaking the same language, and delivering at the same speed. Because ultimately, that's the goal is everything gets delivered at the same speed. You work at a fast pace so that you can deliver what's needed for your customers. Then we have metrics. So now we get into how are we going to make sure that we're doing the right things. We have to be able to measure what we're doing, how we're doing it, to ensure that what we deliver to our customers is what they want, that we deliver quality, and we take care of our business, basically. So you have to set up a set of metrics that will give you that. So we went through and looked at what we could do with metrics and how we could use them and make them right for us. Ultimately, the bottom line is the right tool chain makes it all happen. All the things that I talked about that we need to do to be able to be agile, to have confidence, to be efficient, to have metrics, to have things that you can look at and how you can get your job done, it all rests on having a proper tool chain. And that's a verified, good, solid software tool chain. And of course, we're a tools vendor, so that probably makes sense that we talk about tools. But ultimately, it is the right decision for anybody that does software development. You need to have the right set of tools. So what tools would you use? So this is the Compuware DevOps tool chain. This shows all the tools that we use to do development at Compuware. Proud to have the second line there is mostly the Compuware tools where we do developer productivity. But around all of that second line is all the different partners that we work with, all the non-mainframe software that we work with, all the integrations throughout the enterprise that allow development to be done the same way anywhere within the enterprise. You see at the top there, of course, is Confluence and JIRA. Confluence is our collaboration tool. That's what we use to start all of our ideas go into Confluence. Everything starts with that. As ideas get formed and built on, they move into JIRA. And we move through that whole tool chain, going down through code editing. Those are Eclipse-based tools to do editing, which you can debug your software and do those things. And then you move into the version control. And we at Compuware have a version control system for our mainframe software that we developed, or actually acquired, but it's our software, ISPW. And then for our distributed code, which is our Eclipse and web products that use Java and different things like that, we use Bitbucket and Git to manage that source code. And there's an integration between ISPW and Bitbucket and Git so that we can do deployments all seamlessly with all the distributed mainframe code can all be deployed at the same time, and it can also be rolled back so that you can be confident that what you expected to go into production actually went into production. And if you have a problem, which rarely happens for us, we're almost perfect. Anybody believe that? No, nobody believes that. You have to have that ability. That's why we put it in there, so you can go backwards. And so that's the tool chains that's used. And at the bottom right of the slide, once you get into production, you have to monitor what's going on. So we use tools, some of our tools, Abendate and Strobe, to monitor the performance and any errors that happen. But we have a built-in integration within our tools. They're web browsers that allow you to look at the results of errors and performance analytics that are taken. And if you want to address a performance issue, or you want to have a team handle an ABN that occurred, an error that occurred in production, with a click of a button, you can send off and create a JIRA so that JIRA is automatically assigned to the correct product team, and so they know that they have something to work on. It automatically can be put on a backlog, and it can begin to be worked on and prioritized. So you don't have to send emails from your ops people to say there's a problem. It's a one click, and it's very simple and easy. So it's an integration we're very proud of to work with JIRA. So that is the tool chain, and you'll see this slide again just to give you a heads up if you missed something. So this is one of my favorite slides to show when I do presentations, because this is what we ultimately achieved. This is kind of the end of the story of, over the past 3 years, what we have been able to do using the proper tool chain, using those integrations. That is to be able to reduce our deployment by 2/3. So that means deployment time. So we can move software, we can move changes faster through the system, we can get them out and make them available more rapidly. The other thing that we've done is we've increased the work of developers. They're delivering twice the code. And everybody probably wonders, how do you measure that? Because I always ask that. I don't count lines of code. I don't believe it's valid. Developers are really good at making things look better than they are. So we don't count lines of code. We count the enhancements and the features that are added into our products. And we look back at what we were delivering over the course of the previous years when we were doing Waterfall, and we looked at what we deliver in Agile. Today in Agile, we deliver new feature functionality and new products every 90 days. So the first business day of every quarter, we deliver something new. So we're delivering a lot more features compared to once every 12 to 18 months. And we measured about 2 times the throughput for our average developer based on using the tool chain that we've set up and putting automation in place. And the thing that I am ultimately the most proud of on this, being responsible for development, what is the worst thing that we can do as a software development company is deliver software that somebody runs into a bug in the field. Our customers reporting an issue to us. Through our process, through this transformation, we have reduced the number of external bugs by 7% year over year, reduction in how many bugs are reported by our customers externally. And that's a great number that, again, very proud of. We're delivering more code. We're delivering more features. We've added products and things to our portfolio, and we are ultimately reducing our bug count by automation, by using tools, by using the integrations that we have to be able to be more efficient. So what we've really done is mainstream the mainframe. We've taken what a lot of people think is an esoteric system that sits in the back corner, no one wants to touch and no one wants to move. We've moved it into the mainstream. When you look at this slide, at the bottom are what would be traditional type tooling, the Compuware products at the bottom, Topaz that we build upon, your traditional DevOps infinity loop of all the stages that you have to do and how we fit in that. And most importantly, what we have at the top is partners and integrations that we have done at Compuware. So we've integrated with these different partners to be able to create the DevOps tool chain that we have, and also to share with others to say that these are the tools that you can use. When you go into an enterprise, these are names that everybody across the enterprise will recognize. It makes distributed and mainframe be able to work together. So we are able to make the mainframe piece like everything else, and again, using the common tooling that's out there. So I told you we went through a transformation from Waterfall to Agile, and as everyone would expect, it was not smooth. So we have 10 steps to mainframe agile development that we created. We actually have a white paper, it's available on our website, that we put out on this. What these 10 steps are the 10 biggest problems we encountered as we went along, basically. These are the things that we ran into that caused us issues, and we put out a white paper to share. If you're going to make a transformation, if you're going to try and do this, here's things that you need to look at. And number 1 and number 10 are the two that stay in position. Define the desired state. I talked about how we looked at where we wanted to go, and step 10 is ultimately have cross-platform continuous delivery. 2 through 9 can go ultimately in any order based on where you are within your organization. But for us, modernizing the mainframe development environment, again, having something, an Eclipse-based IDE to be able to be efficient, make it easy, and more rapidly develop. Automated testing, graphical interfaces, enable earlier detection of application quality issues and quality KPIs. Again, goes to some of our integrations, like talked about with JIRA, in production to be able to quickly get a production issue over into development to get it resolved. Step 6, many people think is out of place sometimes. Step 6 is to train and adopt agile processes, and I've been asked many times, why would you put that as step 6 and not step 1? If you try and tell people, here's what you have to do, here's a process to follow, and you haven't given them any tools or any foundation to build on, they will not be successful. And again, we tried that and we kind of failed at it, so we had to go back and redo it. So again, that's something to keep in mind that you have to prepare and be ready for. And using operational data throughout the development cycle, enable an agile core source code management functions. Make sure that you can do source code management, both distributed mainframe. We have moved based on our situation. We moved to Git and Bitbucket. We chose Bitbucket because it was the best based on our analysis. We had developers go through and look at that, so that's what we use for our source code management. And then automated intelligent deployment. Ultimately, you have to be able to deploy the software and you have to do it in a single way. So that's what our journey really was from waterfall to agile and some of the things that we did. Now we're going to talk about probably what's interest to a lot of people, hopefully, is the Atlassian Tools and what we did with them at Compuware. That's why we're here, right? So quite interesting. At Compuware, we use some basic features of Atlassian Tools, JIRA Software, Confluence, Bitbucket Server. All of our software is hosted on-prem. We don't use the SaaS model because of the nature of our business. We didn't feel it was appropriate at the time that we implemented a lot of it. We sometimes revisit and rethink that, but right now we do it all prem. And most interesting, we run all of, we run JIRA and Confluence, I should say. JIRA and Confluence run on our mainframe. They actually run on Z-Linux and run on the mainframe. At Compuware, we have adopted what we refer to as a two-platform IT strategy. We eliminated all of our x86 servers. And we either run our software that is critical to our business and core functionality on the mainframe Z-Linux and on the basic mainframe, or we run it in the cloud. Things that aren't necessarily our core competencies, we run in the cloud. So that's been an exciting transformation for us, and part of it is done with the Atlassian Tools. So how do we use JIRA? JIRA it's a system of record for the entire company, not just for software development. We use it throughout the organization, and we have a saying within Compuware, if it's not in JIRA, it doesn't happen. We don't work on anything that isn't there. It's where we record everything that we do so that we have, first of all, a record of it, but also so that we can put it on our Agile boards, because we use Agile boards throughout the organization to look at what we're doing and be able to track progress across teams, because ultimately, we don't just deliver software and we're done. We have to market it, we have to sell it, and all that has to be incorporated together. So we use it across the organization, including all of our internal development for our IT systems. We have a direct integration. We use a GoToGroup plugin to do integration for Salesforce.com. All of our customer interaction goes through Salesforce, and we're able to create JIRAs when there's an issue from a customer. With a click of a button, we're able to create a JIRA issue and get it assigned automatically to the correct team, so it goes onto their backlog immediately within JIRA so that it can be seen. And it is also the starting point for any new enhancements. Our epic stories all start in JIRA. So we track all of our work, all of our enhancements, everything that we do is tracked within JIRA. We have two types of work that we basically do is new development, new products, new features, new functionality, and then we also have to maintain our existing software because unfortunately it all has bugs in it. So no one's surprised by that, right? All software has bugs, but so we have we use Kanban for our ongoing maintenance of our existing products. It allows us to prioritize the new issues as they come in and clearly identify what we're working on, what's next, and so we can better relate to our customers when they can expect to see fixes based on our MTTR and our average time to resolve something. The people that interact with our customers can give them a very valid estimate of when they'll expect to see a fix because everything is prioritized and we know how it's looking for using the Kanban boards. For our new development, we do Scrum, and again, we use the Agile features of JIRA to manage all of our Scrum boards. We have Scrum boards for every team, and we manage all of our issues using that feature of JIRA. And of course, we have all the sprints are done through that, all the sprint planning, tracking, burn down charts. It allows me to look at what every team is doing very quickly. It allows me to see how they're working and where they have potentially product management who sometimes likes to add things in when they shouldn't. You can see that in the burn down chart. I always like to tell people if your burn down chart looks like a city skyline, you probably have a problem. It shouldn't be that graphic. So here's a quick look at what we do in JIRA. So I have, for me, what I can look at is, like I say, for anybody, anything that's working, any project that's in flight, use the days remaining, which every day I can look at and see all of our teams work on the same sprint cycle. We do 2-week sprints, so everybody's on the same sprint cycle. So I can tell how many days are left, which will also tell me how late everybody's going to be working that day because there tends to be more activity as you get towards the end, even when you do 2-week sprints. But as I said, we have our business running on JIRA as well. So we have engineering, which is what we put all of our products in, and then we have IT help, and we have others that we put all of our issues in JIRA for the whole company. We also use Confluence, and Confluence has probably been one of the most exciting things for us because it was core to one of the most exciting things that I think happened at Compuware. I've been with Compuware over 20 years, and I think this was the most exciting thing that happened at Compuware, and a lot of it is attributed to the fact that we had adopted Confluence, and it was able to give us the opportunity to do what we do and do it really well. So Confluence is our collaboration across the whole organization. We are a worldwide company. We have people in 37 different countries around the world, field people. We do all of our development out of Detroit, Michigan. So we have development here, and we have people all over interacting with our customers and talking with them. Our product management all sits in Detroit with our development teams. And we want input from our customers. We want input from our field people, and we use Confluence to do that. And we open up not only internally, but we also have our external customers on Confluence, so they can contribute to our spaces and do things with us to collaborate on making new enhancements. As I said, with JIRA, we use it throughout the organization, the same as with Confluence. Marketing uses it, finance, legal. The whole organization uses Confluence to do collaboration and to track projects and things that they're working on. So it's become a really great tool for us. From a development perspective, it is the ultimate first starting point for any new enhancement. Anytime that we want something to get started, we put it into Confluence, and it gets built out through there. And as an example of all the Confluence spaces, this is just a show of what we have for the different types of Confluence spaces we have. We have products in there. A couple things that we also have in there. The first one is our go-to-market. That's what we're going to deliver next. So I said we deliver the first business day of every quarter. October 2nd is our next one. If we go to that space, first thing you'll see is what's going to be an October 2nd delivery. So all of our people around the world can see what it is with the click of a button. The second one that's highlighted or marked there is CAN. That's the Compuware Action Network. That's actually our commitment to the community. That's where we give back to the community, our volunteer work that we do, different things that we have, projects we do, Habitat for Humanity projects. We put those in Confluence, what they're going to be, when they're going to be, so people can go to that spot and see what they can do within the community as well. And then we have highlighted on there our Compuware Japan. We have an office in Japan, and that office has their Confluence space, and that's actually all done in Japanese. I assume they keep everything business on there. I don't know. I've never translated it. But that's how we use it to do not just simple project things, but all the things that are related to our business and some things that are just related to what we do with the community. So the ability that Confluence gives us to be flexible in that way and make it available to everybody around the world is really exciting to us. I talked about ideation being key, and I talked about Confluence being key. And this is probably this is the story that we are so excited to share. It happened 2 years ago now, but we called it, its real name is Runtime Visualizer, but you see next to that it says Gary's Idea. This was referred to internally as Gary's Awesome Idea. Gary is a 25-year developer who's worked on a product at Compuware, one product for his whole tenure there. 2 years ago, July 9th, he went to our CEO and he said, I have a great idea for a new product. And he pitched the idea to our CEO. Our CEO was so excited about it, he went through all kinds of things to get it formulated and start working on it. We put that idea in Confluence on a Thursday. And Thursday, we put the idea in Confluence, and we shared it with the entire company and said, Gary came up with this idea. What does everybody think? By Monday morning, we had over 120 people from around the world make comments in Confluence to shape and form that idea. And that was saying, well, you could do this. This is what my customer in Austria wants. This is what my customer in Sydney, Australia wants. We got all of those comments, and in the course of 3 or 4 days, again, using Confluence, we were able to see all those comments. We were able to shape that idea. Within a week, we had wireframes. We posted those wireframes in Confluence. We shared that Confluence space with our customer council, so we have a group of customers that advise us. We shared that space with them. They could see wireframes. They could see the idea. They could see the comments that the rest of the people at Compuware put in to formulate that idea and how we got to where we were at that point. They formulated that idea, they gave us more, and they told us, this is the single most important thing that you should be working on. There is nothing more important. And because they did that, in the middle or end of July, we stopped what we were working on for our next October delivery, which was only a few months away. We stopped what we were doing, we shifted resources, we created new teams, we created a new Scrum team with new JIRA boards. We used Confluence to get all the input. We then moved the epic stories all through JIRA. Having the ability to manage that project, the integrations with the tools, we delivered a product from idea to delivery to our customers in 84 days. Less than 90 days we were taking an idea and do it, and there's having the tools like Confluence and JIRA to allow us to do that, to collaborate in that way, is what made that product so great. All the comments, all the feedback that we were able to gather by opening that up to our customers and to people worldwide made that a great product. And how do we know it was a great product? For those of you, you're familiar with Mainframe. When I tell you this product went into production at 2 major financial institutions, one in America and one in Europe, less than 45 days after we delivered it, they had it in their production environments and were using it because it was such a good idea. And we were able to make it that way because we were able to collaborate and use all the input from around the world to make that happen. And the ability, as I said, to put all kinds of different things in Confluence. It's not certain types of documents. You can put anything in there, to have wireframes, to have PDFs, to have pictures and also to get the comments that you want. So it allowed us to deliver what we still talk about. Again, it's been 2 years, and we still talk about this is one of the greatest things that we delivered, and it was because we collaborated, we worked as a team, and we were able to make it all happen using great tools that help us be good collaborators and working together. So Confluence is key to us, and one of our most recent adoptions is the use of Bitbucket. We started using Git for our distributed code within the last year, and we've adopted Bitbucket. Again, we went through an analysis of all the different tools that would allow us to do that, at least some of them. And Bitbucket came out at the top because it offers the most flexibility, and it allows us to do the things that we wanted to do. And we have become so ingrained with JIRA and Confluence and the integrations, the added bonus to an easy interface and the ability to do things new with source code. It also integrated with JIRA and Confluence, which allows us to have those seamless things happen, code reviews and different things that are required for us to do. Having that all together, it made Bitbucket ultimately the best choice for us. And again, it's for all of our mainframe, non-mainframe source code. Our mainframe source code sits on the mainframe. We always believe as a company that your source code should sit on the platform where it's going to be built and deployed. It less transfer, less results and errors and things like that. It also integrates with our mainframe source tool, ISPW, so that we can deploy our software out together, both mainframe and distributed. And of course, the integration with JIRA and Confluence, which is really great. And this is just a little snapshot of how we organize our source code. So we have all of our different products we have 47 products now at Compuware that we do. And then we also have some internal projects that we have going on. So we have some different teams beyond just our products. We have internal projects, and so we can manage each one of those projects and each one of those pieces of source code within Bitbucket. So very easy interface to use. And again, our developers evaluated the different options that are available, and Bitbucket came out as the best one for us. So we make that work. So for us, and again, this is a duplicate of slide like I said, but from idea to delivery, how we get from taking something that a customer wants or potentially needs and get it out to delivery, it all starts with Confluence. Our ideas start there. They get formulated and refined. They go into JIRA so that we can manage our epics and stories, ultimately go through coding. We manage the source code is in Bitbucket, and then once we get into production, we're able to do those integrations that I talked about, going back from our performance management and error detection tools to be able to open JIRAs instantly and be able to create a seamless integration between typical traditional mainframe products. You see Abendate and Strobe there. Those products were both introduced to the market over 30 years ago, and they're still out there today, but they can integrate with a modern tool like JIRA today due to the fact that JIRA has a very good open system that can be integrated with, and we can take advantage of it so that it makes it easy to implement a DevOps solution across the enterprise, and it fits right in with the DevOps toolchain that we use. And again, that is exactly the tools and that we use at Compuware and how we deliver our software and do our processes for software delivery.